Okay, fill me in.
Yep.
What are the Punter Times reporting on at the moment?
Well, this week, I feel like as head political pundit and executive director of the Punter Times,
Wow, big title.
I'm improving on, so there's good journalism happening, boring headlines.
Yeah, okay.
You get it?
Yeah, I do.
And I'm trying to speed things up for the punters so they know what's important, but they're not wasting too much time with details and things. So as the punters representative, what I've done for the story this week is I'll read you a headline and then I'll say what the head punt executive director editor of the Punter Times thinks it should have been called.
Okay, that's fair. I'm with you.
The headline from ABC News was, PBS not on the table to escape concerning pharmaceutical tariff.
Oh my goodness. I almost fell
What was
asleep
that
as well.
about?
PBS,
Oh, bloody-
tariff, I don't know.
Okay, here's my headline.
No, number one,
Yeah.
tariff makes me go, oh, Trump's involved. PBS makes me go, another acronym, damn.
Boring. So here's my headline. Big Pharma uses corrupt US president to try turn Australia into America, where people die because they can't afford medicine.
I don't need to read the story.
Yes!
If the headline's appropriate, who needs to read the copy,
yes,
right?
Yes, and just, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get people to the thing. So the TLDR on this story, that punters...
Here we go. Again, I've said this in previous episodes, right? The TLDR, like everyone's meant to know, too long didn't read.
Punters, come on, they got to know that by now. But thank you for the added disclaimer.
Yeah.
TLDR, corporate drug cartels, Big Pharma, we all know who they are using their bought and paid for president to destroy Australia's world-class medicine system so that they can charge Aussie punters the same extortionate prices that bankrupt and kill Americans.
Yeah, now I did see a table of this, of prices that we currently pay on the PBS with pharmaceutical benefit scheme.
Yep.
Versus,
good.
Yeah, there you go.
Bonus points for you.
My mother-in-law is actually a chemist.
Oh, so
how I
very
knew that.
familiar with the
Yeah.
PBS, pharmaceutical benefits.
No, not familiar, but I know what the acronym means. But then it was contrasted against prices that people in the US would pay.
Yeah.
And it was like, there was thousands of % markup on some things.
I've pulled it up here, the graph you're talking about.
Yeah.
Here we have, so for an example of how effective our pharmaceutical benefit scheme. So I'll just explain what that is first, and I'll show you the results of what happens.
Okay.
It's essentially the Australian government, because you're not sure what that, you just know what it stands for, yeah?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So the Australian government, imagine you're sick, James. You go to the hospital and you don't have this PBS.
Yep.
The drug companies are like, oh, you're dying. You need this drug. Mm-hmm. How much would you pay, James, for this drug?
Well, I have to pay whatever it is, don't I?
Whatever it bloody is,
Yeah,
because you're
that's right.
dying and
Yeah.
you need it.
Yes.
Turns out, pretty imbalance of power there. So what the Australian government does on behalf of all we Aussie punters, it goes to drug companies and say, here's the drugs we like. We want to buy like a Costco style in bulk. Give us this amount for this price. The drug company goes, well, if we're buying in bulk, all right, give them a discount.
Okay.
And then then they get the medicine at a cheaper rate.
Yep.
And then the government will subsidize a lot of the medicine costs as well.
Yep, I'm hearing
So
you.
as a result, take a look at what the Aussie punter will pay and what some Americans will pay, because I know their system's very complicated. But we've got...
Okay, I'll tell you what. Can I tell you like a condition and you tell me what it is?
I could try it.
Okay, let's go. It affects a lot of Australians.
Yep.
Let's say depression or anxiety.
Okay, the drug would be fluoxetine.
Okay.
An Aussie would pay $31.60. The average American would pay $2,244.
Sorry, $31.60 to $2,400.
Yeah.
That seems reasonable. Fair enough.
Give me one more.
Are you serious? Okay.
It's mind-bending. It's mind-bending stuff.
Let's go with diabetes.
Yep.
So I'm assuming insulin is what we're...
Yep. Insulin glargine. We would pay $31.60.
Okay, which is a script which is probably like a month.
Yeah, but I
Okay.
also think the government has put in here's some good news for the punters.
Yep.
So this is actually a good news piece for
Here we go.
us Aussies. I think with this new thing coming in, we'll only pay up to 25 now. So anyway, the price on this is $31.60. Americans would pay $115 for insulin, which is a pretty regular thing that you need.
What's that, like four times
Four
more,
times,
which the
yeah.
other one was like...
Yeah.
So this is 400%. The other one was thousands of percent, right?
So punters, when you think, oh, government sucks and nothing we ever do works, here is an example of Australian government policy working very well so that you don't die when you get sick because you're too poor to afford medicine.
Yep.
So this news story, which is why I'm kind of bringing it up here, Big Pharma lobby groups are pressing Trump and have pressed Trump because obviously who doesn't like this scheme?
The billionaires or Big Pharma over in the US, right?
Because they're making bank off the US sick people that are dying. Why not off us? So they've pressured and lobbied this president. And this is what it looks like when, like, why is Trump doing this? So he's threatened to put 200% tariffs on Australian pharmaceutical exports and to kind of help force us and leverage us to get rid of this scheme that would result in our medicine costs going through the roof.
Okay, so in my simple mind, essentially, billionaires in Big Pharma are missing out on making heaps of money off Australians.
Yeah.
So they're
they already make heaps, but they want more.
They're trying to influence Trump to do something about it so that they can get more money, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
And the framing around it is like Australia's freeloading, whereas the context for this is Big Pharma still make effing bank off us. So once again, they wouldn't agree to sell us drugs if they weren't making a profit.
Yeah, that's right.
And so they agree to it and still make money. They just want more. Here's the best good news of this piece.
Okay.
Both major parties have agreed. F off Trump.
What do we call
Obviously,
that
we're
one?
Australians. We don't ever say that. We're like, oh, yes, sir, maybe we'll just blah, blah. But they've both said, and this is what the ABC boring ass headline was kind of indicating. Politician Jim Chalmers has said, PBS is not on the table.
Thank you, Jim Chalmers.
And thanks to the Liberal Party, who haven't tried to politicise this because they know how unpopular it would be.
And how unpopular they are at the moment.
Yeah. So there's some good news for the punts.
Okay, now, you said before, I've heard you used words like partisan, bipartisan.
Oh, okay.
When two parties agree on something, and it's like the government and the opposition, is that
bipartisan?
Okay, so it just means both parties
We both
agree.
agree. What a wanky word. You're right. Thanks for pulling me up on that.
It is, isn't it? You say it often, and I'm like, does that mean one or two? I don't. Yeah.
Anyway. They both agree that Trump should go away.
Easy.
On this one, and they won't cave on the PBS.
Okay.
We'll cave on lots of other stuff, but not this one.
Okay, Conrad. So both parties agree that they don't want this touched.
Yeah.
What happens? Trump's powerful, right?
Yeah, the heft of the entire United States government. Yeah.
It seems like we've folded on everything that he wants, really.
Generally, we do.
If we do fold, what happens?
Well, if we fold, Australian Aussie medicine prices go through the roof, which could strain our healthcare system.
What's a strain? By thousands of percent.
Yeah. And if we don't fold, which it sounds like we're not going to, he's going to tariff Australian pharmaceuticals. So do we send a fair bit over there as well? Yeah, it's a big export. Like I think America is Australia pharma's greatest export.
Right.
So it would hurt this specific sector of Australia's economy.
Okay.
Remember how Richard Dennis in the previous episode was like an economy, which economy? This part of the economy, the pharmaceutical part of the economy. So essentially Americans would probably opt for other options over Australian pharmaceutical drugs.
Okay.
So then we would have to find other markets, which this is where it gets complicated. Like it could be okay and we have other buyers and it's probably fine.
Yep.
So old Jim's got to run the sums on that. But
by old Jim, you mean politician Jim Chalmers,
Chalmers.
The treasurer of Australia.
Big dog. Yeah. And this is what every politician runs, the sums on how unpopular is this? Can I get away with this? And because Medicare is so popular and people do not want to be dying in the streets because they're too poor for medicine, our politicians are steadfast in this. We do have power in some things, and that's kind of what it looks like to see a politician responding to how unpopular it would be to make us die because we can't afford medicine.
It really does ring home to me how popular Medicare is when every 3 years you see the two major people standing up the front with their little green card going, no, I'm putting this much money into Medicare.
Exactly. It's true. It's true. Very popular.
Okay, so essentially an even more simplified headline would be Big Pharma is trying to use Trump to attack our healthcare system.